This is Rick. Rick owns OakCraft Pizza, and he's going to show us around his kitchen and also tell us how much it costs to operate and own an OakCraft Pizza. And if he was starting all over again, how much would he have to invest? Plus, all of the expenses and everything that goes into running the business. So let's go into OakCraft Pizza and take a look.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
We are at OakCraft Pizza in Salem, New Hampshire. I love doing these podcasts when I come to visit the pizzeria because you've been on the podcast before. I forget what number it was, but it was a while ago.
Yep.
Before this location opened, and we were talking about like how you're gonna franchise, or that's the model you wanted to do. You worked at Dunkin' Donuts. You're doing this Chipotle style of pizzeria, and I love to actually after visit the pizzeria and be like, all right, show people what we talked about, because it's good to talk on the podcast and listen, but like seeing what you're doing and what you're talking about is the best thing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool because when I was on the podcast, it was like a week before we opened here,
Yeah.
I think. And
I think
so
you recorded the podcast.
I was in here. Yeah, I was in here.
Yeah.
I was sitting right there with this kind of in the background.
Yeah.
And yeah, then a few weeks later we opened, and so now to have you come back, it's been just about a year that we opened. So it's pretty cool, yeah.
That's awesome. So for people who are watching who didn't listen to that, describe the business. Like what kind of business is this?
Yeah, so just like Bruce said, it's just a, Chipotle style pizzeria. So you walk down the line, choose your sauce, cheese, and toppings, you throw it in the oven. All the pizzas are one size, roughly 12 inches, and cook in roughly 3 minutes. So it's pretty easy, pretty good quick lunch, easy for the family to all kind of get whatever they want for dinner, so they're not fighting over things, and just a simple operation. And that's kind of how we always planned it, because we wanted it to be franchisable, repeatable, etc.
So you set it up. You have a Dunkin' Donuts background, right?
Right.
You worked at Dunkin' Donuts and operated Dunkin' Donuts franchises.
Correct.
So you set this business up to eventually franchise.
Yeah, so from day one, it was just about how do we create this that we can repeat it.
Yeah.
And so franchising was always in the plans. I just think it's great for somebody to have an opportunity to jump into a business, even if they don't have a huge business background or they don't have a pizza background like I didn't, and be able to run a business and have the benefit of somebody else's kind of trial and error.
So if someone like when you set this place up, you're like, all right, I need a dough machine, I need an oven, I need you have the upper prima machine, which is like the machine that pounds it out. I'm sure we'll show people that in a minute. Dough mixer. Do you have like a divider, rounder?
We do, yes.
So you have a whole list of equipment that if we open another location, this is everything we need.
Exactly, yeah. Tomorrow, we're ready to open tomorrow.
Really?
Just make one phone call.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, so we're in Salem, New Hampshire. This is like an up and coming area. I think the last time I was here, there wasn't much here. Now it seems like it's, construction everywhere. There's townhouses over there. There's a market basket over there. Is it expensive to be here?
Yeah, so we are kind of on the outskirts of what they call Tuscan Village. So the main area of Tuscan Village is just kind of down there. It's just redeveloped. It's beautiful. They've done an amazing job on it. They're still working on it, still growing.
Yeah.
We're in what's called Tuscan Village North. So actually Market Basket is our landlord.
Okay.
So we're at like $35 a square foot. Which
how many square feet is this?
This is only 1,200 square feet.
Total?
Yeah, it's a little small for what we want. Our first location in Nashville was the same, and I signed this lease like 6 months later. So kind of a little naive. But as we go forward, we'll take on bigger spaces. However, it works for us, and yeah, I would say it's like in the middle upper tier of what's to be expected in southern New Hampshire. But it's reasonable given the growth in the area.
So you say 1,200 square feet is small for you. Like, what would be your ideal square footage?
So we're looking at a site right now, actually for our third location for us, that's right around 2,500. So that's probably more along the lines of what we're doing. We want to maximize kind of throughput, so get second oven in here, and we want to be able to offer more seating. We do offer beer and wine, so to increase those sales, we want to have more space for people to hang out.
So is that oven like during Friday night? Because that cooks a pizza in what, 3 to 4 minutes?
Correct.
Are you like at capacity? Like, is it like people are waiting for longer than you'd like them to wait?
Yeah, we have our moments where definitely it's just a little too long. And then there's also just things with ovens, right? Like recovery and all that we don't give the oven the opportunity to recover, then we're not going to be able to give out the consistent product that we want to be able to.
That's what happens with those like Gauzy and Uni ovens when you use them at home. You make one pizza and it's like, oh, that one pizza is great. But then if you have 10 people at your house and you want the next pizza to like the bottom's not cooked good, it's always about that heat, making sure like it's ready to go for that.
Exactly. Yeah, this is just a big version of that.
Yeah, I love it. It's a nice oven over there.
We love it.
So what does it cost to, like, if you had to like open another one, like what does it cost to open a place like this?
Yeah, so this location cost roughly $400,000.
That's with all the equipment,
everything, all the build out, everything. So yeah, I mean, as we kind of go forward, we'll see what the things change every day, inflation and cost of doing business. But
it's like you grow, right? So your costs, because like as time goes on, things get more expensive.
Right.
But sometimes your buying power, the bigger you are.
Yeah, we've already seen it with things like pizza boxes and pepperonis. Like we get a better price today than I did a year ago.
Because of the 2 locations.
Because we have 2 locations and all those kind of stuff.
Because individual pizzerias always talk about, oh, we should always get together as a group and like use our buying power, even though we're not one business, use our buying power to lower the prices, but no one ever really does that.
It's a conversation I've had with people, and it's the same like you're saying, just doesn't really happen.
I think the only one place I know does it, there's a guy in Cheshire Pizza, he messaged me.
Okay.
He's in Connecticut, and I think he said he has a Greek pizzeria, and he has like a lot of people who have similar businesses to him. I think they have done that in that area, but that's the only one I've ever seen actually do it. Not just talk about it.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think I think the old way was to look at it as everybody was competition, and the new way is like let's collaborate.
Yeah, like this.
And this is much better.
Totally.
This way is way better.
20 years ago when I first started, no one would allow me in their pizzeria and be like, hey, how much is the rent? How much does it cost to open this? No one would tell me that stuff.
Right.
They'd be like, I don't know if I want to talk about that.
Exactly.
And now it's like about sharing and collaboration. That's how you grow.
Exactly. 100%.
Now you're going to show us this Propane machine from Fierro Group, which kind of pounds out the dough for you, right?
Yeah, so it's a great machine. So obviously there's a lot of dough presses and stuff out there that have heat and all that. So this thing literally just simulates 16 fingers hand stretching your dough for you. So
the thing that I saw was kind of fascinated by this one is there's no heat or any spray or anything.
Yeah, it's very low maintenance, to be honest.
Now it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
It is very expensive.
It's very expensive.
But it does, I guess, take the place of one employee at least, right?
Yeah, the way I look at it is the kind of skill of stretching dough is not that easy.
Yeah.
So taking one of your better people on a Friday night and putting them on the dough is tough. And I know a lot of places have to deal with that. And so our best people are facing our customers and making pizzas and spending time talking to our customers and working on the oven. So I don't have to worry about that. Basically just that light where it is, you just get the pizza dough right just beyond that light. And then close it. It'll take about 7 or 8 seconds. There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Or like on a Friday night, you just have someone just feeding that.
I just have somebody, just standing there feeding it. Honestly, sometimes I may even have somebody taking them out. It just depends, I mean, if we're doing 200 pizzas in a couple hours, then we're gonna need the volume, so.
Because Friday night's the busiest night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like
Friday, Saturday, yeah, and then Sundays, have their moments.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fridays and Saturdays though for sure. Friday nights, just like everyone else, right?
And
4 to 7, 4 to 8.
So when you have like a busy workflow here, what's the flow? Like how many people you have working?
Yeah, I mean, we sometimes have like 8 or 9. We're working on kind of what that could look like long term, but basically this, we'll have 2 people on dough, kind of one helping shift some of that dough over to what we consider like our small online station that we use. We'll open up on Fridays and Saturdays. And then 3 up here. So 2, 2, 3, and then another 2 at the oven. So maybe like 8 or 9 total. And just kind of cruise through, and everybody's got their own little job. So
it's similar to like what Chipotle has when they have like just a flow of line people going through the line.
Yeah, exactly. The difference between us and probably a lot of other pizza shops too is just that we welcome like the conversation. So we do have, maybe one extra person who has to be here in front because everything for us is about the display versus a closed kitchen where you just kind of get back to work and take a ticket and just bang it out, right? So that's probably the biggest difference, but it's probably similar to what a lot of people are doing.
All right, Rick, let's make a pizza. Show me how you guys do things.
Let's do it.
So
all right.
Someone comes into the counter, they just stand here and they order?
Yeah, so we introduce them and we bring them up here. So again, just in that Chipotle style kind of way.
Looks
we have
like all your stuff's displayed here.
Everything
nice
right here, right? So obviously we sauce first, then all our cheeses. We do a little more stretching just to make sure. And then we grab their name, ask them if it's for here or to go.
I like the one size pizza too. That probably makes it a lot easier. So you don't have to ask sizes. All you gotta do is worry about toppings.
Makes everything easier. And then when it gets busy, like I can't even tell you how much easier it gets.
Just pump out the same
Just
size.
pump out the pizzas, right? So, yeah, so we just kind of stretch it out.
Yep.
And then you get to kind of choose. So, for instance, we'll just make our hot pep, which is just like one of our more popular. It's a spicy red sauce.
What kind of sauce do you guys use?
We make our own. So we crush Italian imported tomatoes in-house and then add our own kind of seasonings and things to it.
Very nice.
But we import all our tomatoes. We've always focused on getting the quality, right? I mean, we just got to focus on all the good stuff. We usually do have a measurement tool here, but
we're winging it.
We're winging it. I think I've made enough pizzas that if I still need that measurement tool, there's something wrong with me.
We always use to test people, be like, all right, don't use the measurement tool.
Yeah.
Let's see how close.
Let's see what happens,
the actual
right?
thing, right?
So in this case, we'll just do our hot pepper spicy red sauce, our shredded mozz mix, and then pepperoni. We finish it off with hot honey and a little fresh grated parm.
Do you use the hot honey after? Like when
We do, yeah, after we bake it. So just do that, and then we toss it in. But obviously people, go nuts, right? So occasionally they'll, add whatever they want. And the beautiful thing about pizza too, it's meant to be customized. Like everybody likes their pizza the way they like it. So, we introduce them as generous individual size.
Yeah.
We definitely get people who share, but we also just have people who, house a pizza. Like you or I probably house a pizza.
I was just gonna say,
you know what I mean?
Like that's one side. That's
but
for
some
me
people
only.
would need to share. So then, yeah, just take it, toss it into our oven.
What kind of oven is this?
It's a Fiero twister, and it's wood and gas assist, or gas and wood assist.
How long does it usually take to cook in there?
Take about 2.5 minutes, 3
That's
minutes.
it?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty quick.
That's really quick.
Yeah.
And then it comes out and it's ready to go?
Comes out ready to go.
Just pizza here.
Pretty much just pizza. We do have a great order of meatballs that you can get, cheesy garlic bread. We have a couple of toasts, like a ricotta hot honey toast and caprese avocado toast are really good. But for the most part, we try to keep it simple.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you had to do the next location, like what do you wish you'd do differently?
So we would, first of all, it would be a bigger location,
Yeah, we said that,
size-wise,
yeah.
right? So that's straightforward.
Same menu, same kind of menu you do?
Same kind of menu. We would do, we get it, for us, honestly, it's more just like getting a second oven. It's more like an operational thing for us. More seating, just because I think there are people who would come in here on a Friday night that just know before they even make the decision not to come that there's not enough space. So we're not going to come, especially we're geared, like we're really perfect for a young family.
Yeah.
So, 4-year-old, 5-year-old who wants pizza, they get it really quick, right? I mean, I have 4 kids with my wife and we know. So when we go out, it's like, where can we get food quick and, keep going?
Plus pizza's always better if you eat it there.
Oh, a million times better, right? The cardboard box is probably the worst thing that ever happened to the
like
pizza.
death, yeah.
But yeah, so I think we have, we would change those things, and then, we have some ideas that we might experiment with, but I'm not sure if we would go quite to like a bar
what?
or anything like
bar,
that.
Yeah.
But or expanding the menu, adding a few more appetizers or stuff like that. Those are all thoughts that we've had. One of the great things here is we don't do anything fried. So I probably would keep that structure.
Yeah.
I know there's some really great machines now that you can use and fryers, but for us it just doesn't.
I
fit
like
our
if you can keep it simple.
Yeah.
Like if you can survive and make money and
right.
profit just doing pizza, maybe a salad or two,
Right.
I wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah. I mean, our setup right now is like literally turn on the oven.
Yeah.
And
Just
make
turn stuff on, lights.
2 salads.
Yeah.
Like it's very simple, and then everything else is made to order.
And it's profitable, like so
and
that
it's profitable.
Yeah.
It's been great. I mean, obviously we're franchising, so I could share the FDD. If somebody fills out the FDD, they'll see.
You already have all that stuff done?
Oh yeah, everything's done. It's ready. The offering's out there. We've had some really interested people.
Is it local people, like people from New Hampshire or people that know you?
Yeah, so we've had a few, 2 specifically right here in town. Then we've had others in Massachusetts that we've kind of gotten to a point with, and we'll see if they kind of come through or not. But as of right now, there's 2 or 3 that, in theory, could be ready to go.
What's the criteria if you wanted to open a franchise? Like, you have to have a certain amount of location, like money. Like, what's the criteria for opening a location?
Yeah, so we want to work with you. So if you have the interest in doing it, obviously, number one, just the right demeanor more than anything,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, you need to have some financial backing because, you want to make sure that, you know, getting into a business can be a little daunting and things can come up and you don't want to be in a situation where you can't pay those bills. However, you know, for us, it's kind of about meeting you, kind of getting to understand who you are. We have some creative things that we can do if the right person came along too. So right now we're just kind of seeing who has the right interest, and, you know, basically we need to be able to get along with each other because we're going to be working together a lot side by side. Like, leading little edge here is that I've been in the other shoes. And the other shoes can be really great, and they can also be kind of hard to be in. Doing it with Duncan for so long and my family, and I still have extended family who are in it. So knowing that and seeing that and living that, I do think it gives me a little bit of an advantage as a franchisor over others because I know how it feels on the other side.
Yeah, you've been in those shoes.
Yeah.
Why franchise and not just open as many as you can yourself?
Well, I think there's, you know, two reasons. One is, obviously at some point you're going to be looking for capital and you're going to have to essentially partner with somebody anyway. And number two is kind of like giving people the opportunity for business ownership. I think the American dream is still alive and well, and I think that business ownership is still, at the end of the day, that American dream. And giving somebody a bunch of systems that they can go in and they can replicate and they can, you know, bring their family into and, you know, create a legacy for themselves is really important and really valuable. So
owning a business is hard, but it's also like, it could be lucrative, and it's good to have something that's yours.
Absolutely.
So like you could sell it at one point. It's like owning a house, right? Like at one point, like it's a huge investment and you got to maintain it. But at some point you could, as long as the market goes up, which housing usually does, sell it.
Right.
Make your money back.
Right. So, you know, so many people that I know that are like, oh, I would, you know, I wish I opened a business. Oh, I want to open a business. And so then for me to say like, great, let's do it.
Yeah.
Kind of put them on the spot a little bit, but at the same time, it does give people the opportunity to do what I'm doing every day. And to be honest with you, if you bring the right people in, this is a very simple operation. So it's not something that's crazy to do. And just give more people the opportunity.
Yeah. All right, what piece of advice, as we wrap up here, thanks for having us, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
This has been great showing us behind the scenes. What would you give someone who's either looking to like grow their business or even maybe just start a pizza business? Like, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
The first piece of advice I would give anybody who's looking to start a pizza business is reach out, fill out the franchise disclosure document. We can help you get into business. But in all
I like what you did there.
But in all seriousness, just do your research and really know what you're getting yourself into. Have a good, long, hard discussion with the people closest to you. They need to understand what they're getting themselves into as well. And then just be ready to work hard because you just don't know what's going to come, you know, day one, day two. Anything that you anticipate, it's going to be busier. Anything that you expect to go wrong, it could go wrong or worse. So just be prepared for anything and really just don't put anything on that calendar.
Yeah.
Just be ready to go.
Work hard, right?
Work hard.
I always like to say, write a business plan, but write it in pencil.
Right.
Because it's going to change.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Thanks so much, Bruce.